AutoCAD 1 2D Drafting, Boston Architectural College, and in this video we're going to take a look at how to get some customized elements, some customized, in this specific case, hatch patterns that we can use into AutoCAD. In our last video we looked at applying hatch to our existing conditions elevation, and we saw that when we want to apply the hatch to our one-story portion of our elevation here, that we didn't have the same type of pattern that was available here in the handout. So here we're going to take a look at how to get that and load it into AutoCAD. Well, one of the things you have to take a look at in AutoCAD is where AutoCAD is storing the support files that it uses to do things like this, like hatch patterns and line types and color tables for plotting, etc. So the way to find that is to go up here to the application menu, the big red A, go into options. You can of course type in options on the command line and it will get you here too. You want to go to the Files tab, and right now we're going to try and find where AutoCAD is keeping the hatch patterns for us. So I'm going to go to this first line here where it says Support File Search Path and expand that. And right at the top here, the very first one, this is the first place AutoCAD will look for any of the support items. And you'll see there's a whole series of places that AutoCAD looks, but it looks in this order. It starts at the top and continues on down through. Typically things like hatch patterns and things like that are stored in the user's profile in Windows. So here we see a path, see users, my name, app data, roaming, Autodesk, blah 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 underneath support. So I'm going to get out of this right now and I'm going to minimize AutoCAD and let's go to my PC and open up the C drive. And here on the C drive, this is Windows 10 I'm using, but this is very similar to Windows 7 also. Under Users, there's my name, open that up. Now as I look down through this, the path said App Data, and I don't see that here. Well, in Windows, App Data is actually a hidden folder. There are certain things that Windows hides because they think it's not safe exposing it to everybody for general use. But in this case, we do need to see that. So in Windows 10, you would come up here to where it says View, and over here turn on hidden items. And then once you do that, you'll see that the app data folder becomes available. Now obviously in Macintosh you would have to go through that process similarly to make sure you could access this. But if you go to the options menu and go to the files, it should tell you where these things are stored in your Mac operating system. But here we are in Windows 10. I'm going to go into App Data, go into Roaming, all kinds of different applications in here. I'm going to go to Autodesk, and here's AutoCAD 2016, the current version, the language we're using, and then here are the support folders that are loaded into my profile. So under here, under Support, if we take a look, several different things are in here, and one of the things that we'll find if we scroll down, let me order these by name, and you'll see there is something called ACAD PAT. That is the ACAD hatch patterns file. There is also ACAD ISO PAT. That's for the ISO line patterns that we saw. And you will also see ACAD LIN, that is the line type file, and ACAD ISO LIN. So this is where AutoCAD is keeping a lot of the support files so that helps us control AutoCAD and provides us with different types of things like patterns and line types, etc. So what we need to do is put our patterns, because the ACAD PAT file is actually a collection of several different types of patterns, and those are the ones we saw when we looked at the hatch pattern menu on the ribbon. And we can load these other patterns here into AutoCAD, and AutoCAD will find it and load it into our drawing so that we can use it. So in this week's class, for week 6, we have some class handouts here. And if we take a look at that page, there are several things in here to download, particularly for about the proposed elevations or proposed floor plans. But if we take a look here, there's a line that says additional hatch patterns, and it's a zip file or a compressed file. So I'm going to click on that. And here in my Windows 10, it's asking me if I want to save this. And I'm going to say OK. And I'm looking at my Firefox browser. My Firefox browser tells me that the download is complete. And I can click here to where that file or folder was downloaded. And here it is in my Downloads folder on Windows 10. And what I need to do is to extract this, because it is a compressed folder. So if I right-click here and say Extract All, it's going to create a new folder inside my downloads called Hatch Patterns, and that's fine. I will do that. And there's the folder with a whole collection of individual types of patterns. They're all files that have a .pat at the end. This means it's an AutoCAD hatch pattern that can be applied into your AutoCAD drawing. So now I just need to get this into that support folder. So I'm going to close my downloads folder here, and I'm going to go back to my profile, again under App Data, Roaming Autodesk, AutoCAD 2016, Release 20.1 ENU support. That's where it's located. And what I want to do is, because I have so many that I'm going to be loading in here, I'm going to create a special folder for this, and this will work out fine. We can do this. We can create a special folder underneath support. So I'm just going to right-click here and click on New and put in Folder, and I'm just going to call this simply Pats for the AutoCAD patterns. And then what I'll do over here in the zip file that I expanded into its old folder, I'm going to select all of these, and I guess I have to drag down to do that. Hold my Shift key, grab everything, right-click, copy, go back to my support folder, open this up, right-click, and do paste. And so now all those patterns are loaded under the support folder. But the next thing I want to do is actually move the standard AutoCAD pat files also into this folder, so that all my pattern files are all located in the same folder. So I see ACAD pat here, and I see ACAD ISO pat, so I'm going to select that also. And I'm going to cut them. Whoops, open this up, right-click, and paste in here. So now all my pattern files are all within this one folder inside my profile and inside the AutoCAD support folder in the profile. Okay, so we've got all that done. Now if we minimize all of this and go back to our AutoCAD drawing, let's see if in fact AutoCAD does find that. So if I click on the hatch command here on the draw menu and open this up, and it says ACAD pat can't find file. So AutoCAD is going to look for the acad.pat file first, and it says it can't find that. So okay, all we have to do is, and you'll notice here when we go into the hatch creation toolbar or ribbon, there's not much here. There's just a single thing. So what we need to do is get out of this. I'm going to cancel, hit escape, cancel out of the hatch command, and go to the options again, go to the files, open up the support search file path, and I'm going to hit add. Actually, before I hit add, I'm going to cancel that. To make this a little simpler, I'm going to, let's go back into this, options, files, and I'm going to click this top line here that's pointing to my profile and my support folder, and double click it, and the whole thing is selected, and I can right click and copy that name, and then just click out here somewhere to deselect it, and then I'm going to go add. And I see a new line opens up and it's blank, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to go paste, and then at the very end of this line I'm going to put in a backslash, and I'm going to put in pats because that's the folder we created where the pattern files are, and then just hit enter. Now with that line still highlighted, I want to move that up so AutoCAD will take a look at that we'll look at that pretty quickly to find out where my pattern files are. So while that is highlighted, I'm going to click this button and move it right up underneath the first line that has the general support file. And then I'm going to hit apply and go OK. And then I'm back to my drawing, and now if I go hit the hatch, we will see that, whoops, canceled out somehow. Let me go back, hatch. It loaded all of those in there, and what we should see now is that there's the regular AutoCAD pat information plus a whole series of others as we get down in the list here. So now we have some different kinds of stone patterns, field stone, different kinds of masonry, roofing shingles. We also should have some boards up here, different kinds of patterns like that. So what I'm going to do is, while this is open, I'm going to click on my existing pattern that I have here and go up to the library of items, and I'm going to select the Cobblefield stone, and it will change that 8x8 brick into that pattern. Let's zoom in and take a little bit of a look. It looks like it applied two hatch patterns one over the other. So I guess the safest way to do this will be to maybe erase everything. And I have to change my layer because I was on the wrong layer also. So the ALF pat layer. Now let's go back to the hatch. Hatch opens up, and there's the pattern that I want, the Cobblefield. Come over here and select it there, and then come over to this side and select it there. And while that's still selected, I just want to check another option here, CTL stone. And I'm not liking exactly what I'm seeing there, so I'm going to, while this is still active, go back to that Cobblefield. And actually probably what I need to do is scale this up a little bit because these are coming in a little smaller than I would like to see them. So I'm going to change this scale up to, say, 2. And that's about the proper scale for my building, that this would be about the size of the masonry units that would be used if we were building a building wall. So I'm going to say that's fine and hit enter. And now that gets applied to my building elevation. So that process that we went through about finding where AutoCAD stores our support files that we just demonstrated here with the hatch patterns also goes for things like the standard color table for plotting. So this is the color table that's being used when I plot your homework, and this essentially is what I'm going to assume you should use as you're doing your drawing and you're doing your plotting to PDF to hand in those drawings. So let's take a look at where that is stored while we're doing this. So again, go up to the application menu, open options. And if we go down this list, we will see a special category just for printer support files, so printer support file path. And if I open that up, several different subcategories here, and one of them is the plot style table search path. So let's open that up and let's see where that is. And we will see here that there it is under C users, app data, roaming, similar place to where we had the other one, except instead of being under support, it's under plotters. So let's get out of this and let's open up our File Explorer here, and I'm going to, because I'm already in my user profile, so users, tPlanson, app data, roaming, Autodesk, blah blah blah. Let me back up here to go where it says ENU. And sure enough, under that list of folders, there is a plotters. And if I open that up, there underneath that is something called plot styles. And if I open that up, I see the various plot styles that are available to me. And here I have already downloaded or already installed that BAC2016.ctb. And if you haven't done that yet, then you should do that by going to the class website, downloading this file here, this CTB, and then finding your support folder under users. If you're in Windows 10, if you're using a different operating system, you'll have to find the path under the options files to find out where it is stored, and place that here. So once it is placed here, then it is available to you to apply to your plotting setup or your page setups when you go to create your PDFs for the class project. So that's all I wanted to cover in this here, just getting some hatch patterns, other hatch patterns available to you, and finding out how you could get that into AutoCAD so that it is accessible to apply to your drawing. Okay, thanks for watching.